Oh, good morning. That's gonna be a terrible entrance. How you doing, everybody? You know who I am. You know what this is. For those of you who do not, this is my face. I am Adam S, GM of the Austin Copperheads, knife thrower, occasional cook, moose friend. I am doing another one of these vidcasts for y'all because I love you and because it's easy money. Hey, oh, she already knows. Come on. Come on. Yes, it's your time. Here's baby girl right away. Hello, Daisy. Hello. Hello. Daddy's doing another podcast. Yeah? Yeah? Okay. Alright. Yeah. I gave her some noodles and butter and salt and pepper earlier, so she's like super, like, yeah, super. Look, here's you. You're kind of famous. Oh, who's my baby girl? Who's my baby girl? I gotta talk to you for a minute, okay? Alright. Go have a nap. I love you. It is Wednesday. We are a couple hours from the Ultimus. Hot prediction. OCO continues its league-wide historical dominance and wins. Because God knows we've had OCO versus Baltimore in the Ultimus enough to have an idea of what's going to happen. I think this is the fourth one, something like that. Beyond that, season's almost over. Free agency's about to hit. Any GMs that are watching this, remember your end of season bonuses are due in like 2 hours or less. Pre-draft starts Friday. Now I know what you're saying. Adam, the draft is live when we present it. GMs are in their tiny little cubicles or BDSM rooms or office spaces or wherever they're at, making their drafts and making their trades as we're presenting. And that's true. But pre-draft starts Friday. So this is a big last-minute scramble for a lot of GMs to hit any prospects they missed, which is really easy in a class with 60-plus people who might still be active. And it's a lot of fun. Even I'm, notorious early starter. I'm getting a couple extra people today. And right now, I can't see anything on my screen because my Java updater decided this was the moment to just take over. There we go. To take over my whole screen and be like, "Do you want to update this? I know you were busy." Imagine like telemarketers, which I guess there's not as many telemarketers as there used to be, but like just showing up in your living room in the middle, just teleporting to your living room in the middle of dinner. Hey, you guys interested in some steak knives? It's gonna be a reference that like half of you aren't gonna be old enough to get. I think. That's okay. That's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna move this screen over here so I can see who's messaging me. Dylan Deluxe, shout out. Shout out. I'm gonna throw him an invite into our Discord actually. You made it, buddy. Good for you. So, getting ready for draft prep. Getting ready for draft prep. Doing draft prep. Like draft prep is not really a. Okay, actually that is kind of a thing. Either way, yeah, it's an exciting time. Getting to know a lot of prospects, getting to talk to a lot of people, making some changes in the Austin Discord to make it a better, more fun place. And then of course I get on my computer and I have this lovely, just taped to the front by my wife. She loves to leave me fun, good, positive notes, which is awesome. Very positive person. I love that. Make sure I stick it back on there properly. Whenever she does, I tend to leave them like where they are or whatever, so that I can find them again. Which is great. I just noticed it because I was on my computer, of course. So yeah, sorry, I just came out the gate with the fucking pretending to be asleep entrance and just didn't have. It just mangled my whole brain. I called for questions a while ago. I don't know what the status of questions is. We shall see. Refresh on that. But yeah, draft starts on Friday. It's gonna be interesting. We have a general idea of the draft order now, so I'm pretty excited to see what we're gonna do with Austin and how we're going to sort of round out our existing roster and take that next step next season. Season 18 is gonna be a huge one for my team. We really are gonna go up another level, and I think very strongly that we're gonna make the playoffs, and we'll see what happens from there. Especially if we get to, have all of our games. Ooh, I do have some questions. Especially if we get to have all of our games actually. You know what I'm going to reference. You know what I'm going to reference. If we have all of our games played fairly, that'd be nice. How you doing? All right, let's just jump right into questions. Why the fuck not? Right? Right? Right. Okay, here we go. Issa Starcross, he recently left our Discord. We were very sad about that, but the truth is, we're never gonna draft him. In fact, I'm gonna run on a conversation that I had last night because I had a wonderful conversation with a lot of the potential prospects, where we were talking about drafts and possible things that might happen. And I love to get into those conversations, especially since starting Friday, I can't. As soon as the pre-draft starts, I can't say shit to anyone about anything. So right now, while it's all speculation, I can say whatever the fuck I want, which is awesome because I love saying whatever the fuck I want. And my speculation, which I'm going to call basically a fact, is this. Issa's player is going first. Bjorn Ironside is the #1 pick. You like how that little stall was just so that I could check his player card because I couldn't quite remember his name. Because I always remember him first rather than his player. But yeah, Bjorn Ironside is going first. My prediction very simply is this. Nola is picking him first, or whatever team offers Nola a buttload of value is picking him first. Boom. Done. Put that on your mock drafts. Do it. Put that on your mock drafts. #1, Bjorn Ironside. Okay. Isa's got some questions. Isa, whatever. Obviously, the NFL pre-draft is coming up in less than 48 hours. Every time. Every time. How hyped are you? Bro. Every fucking time somebody asks me a question I just answered. I really gotta, shut my mouth and not get excited and be like, I'll just go to the questions. I keep saying it, I'm probably not gonna do it. But yeah, dude, I'm hyped. I'm so hyped. It's so weird that you asked that right after leaving our Discord. It's not that weird. I'm just being an asshole. Yeah, no, I'm very excited to see what this. I'm excited not just for myself or for my team. I'm excited for the league in terms of this is that next flourish of activity, that next big group of people who are going to come in and really start making a mark. And I'm excited for the draft class itself because you guys get to come in and you guys get to start on your journeys. I mean, statistically speaking, with the way we vote on Hall of Fame, there's 2, maybe 2.5 Hall of Famers in this class. Who might finish top 0.5 in their position and be considered a bare Hall of Famer by our voting. So it's nice to see that and to see you guys start taking on league jobs and GMs are going to start coming in. I think we've got a couple of DSFL co-GMs already. And so for you guys, it's very exciting to see where you go. And for us, it's very exciting to see how the league changes and grows, especially off of what you guys have already done. And for me personally, it's interesting to see what new people I get to interact with and just get to know a little better. And for my team, it's exciting to see what players are to come and help us get to that next level and really interact with us in the locker room and just kind of help continue building that Austin culture as well. So yeah, there we go. What are your feelings about the all of a sudden upheaval in management across the league? Tons of GMs stepping down, tons of new ones stepping up. change is a thing that happens, even just in terms of us. I'm not gonna like hit you with any like Yoda advice here. Change you must be used to. My voice was not ready for that one today. I do a much better Yoda than that. No, fuck it. Give me a minute. I'm gonna do it. You're not. That is no. Ignore that I just did that. Change you must become used to. There you go. But every so often, you get. Well, my co-star of the chair is already acting up today. There we go. Every so often, you get these moments where it just goes explosion, and I think that's what's happened. You know, you had Chicago's entire team step down. Or sorry, yeah, sort of. It wasn't at once, but Baltimore's entire team has stepped down ahead of their loss to OCO, which is it's good to get that out of the way. You got new, Davey stepped down in Yellowknife, and Big Red sadly took over. I say sadly because the team gets a whole lot more dangerous with him in charge. It is what it is. Everybody knows my feelings. I can't remember if his co-GM is public yet, so I won't say who that person is, which is the same thing I said last night when somebody asked me. But yeah, there's other teams, aren't there? San Jose? No, they need to step down, but they haven't. They don't prepare for games. Yeah, every so often there's a big upheaval and stuff kind of just happens at the same time, and it's a thing. It breeds new and interesting life into the league. I mean, nobody 6 months ago would really seriously entertain the idea that Jiggly was going to be a GM of an NSFL team, and here we are. And he came out of the gate running. So re-signing multiple people, several big articles talking about what he and his new co-GM Toasty are going to do. And he didn't write them himself, by the way. I don't know. For those of you who don't know, Jiggly is a journalist by degree. He does write professionally. Professionally, slightly loose sense of the term in that they don't pay him a lot. But professionally isn't that technically he's professional. And so for Jiggly to relinquish control of a written piece and have somebody else write his words for him, it says something about his willingness to do things as a GM. So if you're sleeping on Chicago because you have preconceived notions about Jiggly, and about Toasty, by the way, then don't do that. And that's coming from me. So, yeah. I've already given my thoughts on Yellowknife. Colorado has the most stable setup of their GMs for a while now. I think Colorado has had 47 GMs in 17 seasons. That sounds about right. And so, man, you get the point I was making before I started fucking rambling is that you get a lot of new stuff that you weren't necessarily expecting. So, it can be a good thing. It can be a good thing. Especially as it, if you're not moving forwards, you're moving backwards. Because the world around you keeps moving even if you're standing still. So even if you're not moving, you're moving backwards. This is sort of the league moving forward in a way. And I say that because there was a time back near the beginning of the league, and towards, I want to say, everything prior to Season 8, Season 9, where the mentality, the culture almost was, you stayed until you burned completely out, and then you just handed it to somebody else and you fucking disappeared. HO, GMs, job heads, etc. That sort of thing happened a lot. That was one of those things we really, really tried to fix. And really, really tried to focus on because we lost a ton of great users that way. Ow, I just bit my fucking tongue. That's not nice. And a huge tongue, so I bite my tongue a lot. We lost a ton of great users that way. And it took a while to sort of shift that to where people now just step down before that happens, so that they still stay active members of the league. For the most part, obviously, it still happens occasionally where someone just disappears. Usually, it happens to Colorado. But I think it's a major, major step forward that the league has made over the last calendar year or so. That it's more common to see moments like this upheaval with different GMs stepping down for life reasons, like Baltimore. They're both in the process of just starting new jobs, I think, or with whomever, that we get this. I don't remember if that was a complete sentence or not, but I feel like I've gotten my point across pretty well. It's a good thing for the league, even though it seems like a little crazy in the moment, because long term, the league itself is going to benefit from, say, a Nunk still being around, even though he's not a GM anymore, rather than riding it till the wheels fall off and then never having heard from him again. So there you go. That's my thoughts on that. What are you giving up to move to the first overall pick? It ain't me, boss. It ain't me. As much as I'd love to, I really would. It ain't me. Sorry about that, man. Yeah. God, I'd love to. I'd love to. No. No. Hang on. Joe's online. I'm going to have him message me. Remind me that we're not giving up massive draft capital, because it's going to fucking cost you to move up to 1 and draft Isa. Alright. He'll come back to me in a few minutes, I'm sure. So, thank you, Isa, for your questions. Always appreciate it. Love your articles. The mountain is sexy. Lamp Wizard, my dude. I'm having fun with this guy in Discord, by the way. He's one of the people I've been getting to talk to, which is cool. Tacos or burritos? Favorite type of donut? That feels like two separate questions that shouldn't be lumped in together, first of all. Those are two things. You can't... Yeah, no, those are two things. Anyway, tacos or burritos? I gotta be in the mood. So, it depends. Sometimes you want tacos. Sometimes you want burritos. Sometimes you want to, like, hold a thing and I munched a thing and sometimes you're just like, I want something lighter and quicker, and so you grab a taco. Like, the most common taco I eat is fish tacos. Just get some fish, make it up at home, make our own pico, etc., etc. It's excellent. I might lean ever so slightly towards tacos, but we're talking like 55-45 here. It's close. Favorite type of donut? Cream fills. And I don't mean like that bullshit Boston cream. Sorry, New Englanders. I mean like the white, like cake cream filled donuts. There's a reason I don't have too many of them, but they are my favorite of all time, my whole life. Ever since I was a young warthog. Favorite music genre? It depends on the day. I listen to a lot. We draft you, you'll get to see our music channel, by the way, so that'll be fun. Actually, is that music channel open? I don't remember. You'd think I would know. No, weekly music is open. Austin Copperheads do a weekly music genre thing, which is cool. I love pop music. I love 80s rock pop. I love classic rock. I love anything melodic, like it can be like the Beatles or Fleetwood Mac or something like that. I love that. I love real hip hop, for lack of a better term. No sixes on your face, okay? Because I've yet to see a rapper with more than 2 tattoos on their face that's actually good. Maybe there's a limit. I don't know. If it gives you an idea, if you're a fan of rap, just to give you an idea, my favorite rappers are Run the Jewels. So if you know from there, you can kind of extrapolate where I like to be. Oh, I think I got Joe. Joe, We aren't doing that, or I'll be the starting QB in OCO. First of all, no, you wouldn't. Moonlight would be. I think he already passed UTB. She already passed UTB. So, I'm letting him know what's going on. Recording now, so I'm answering a question. Thought I'd check with you and sneak you into the video. Yes, I actually wrote that. Give me an opinion on run first versus pass first offenses in the NFL or the NSFL. Either way, you got to do what works. You got to work with your personnel. That's my opinion, and that's the opinion I'm willing to give. Ever played in an IDP fantasy league? I don't know what IDP means. I can pretend to be so out of touch that I'm like, is those the clown rapper guys? No, I played in a lot of fantasy leagues. I just don't know what an IDP is. IDP sounds like a disease. Good, IDP. IDP. Fantasy. What is IDP fantasy? I'm Googling some shit. What is an IDP fantasy football? Individual defensive players. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've actually played in some of those. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Yeah, I have. It's tricky. It's a tricky one because defensive players aren't usually consistent from week to week. So I don't do them as much. I'm only in one fantasy football league this year, actually, just because I've been cutting down a lot of stuff that I do on the side. Working on. In fact, I think it's super official now that all my GM jobs, other than Austin, are going away. Not going away. I just like yeet them off into the distance or some shit. I have excellent replacements. I just, I'm focusing on stuff outside of sim sports. I'm going to really heavily get into writing my next book or books. It's just time, and I've been outlining, I've been working, I've been going in that direction, and now it's time to just like put word to screen and just fucking run with it. Because the quicker I do that, the quicker I can get stuff out and I can get feedback, which is something I will eventually do, by the way. As I get closer to finishing these books, I will be looking for volunteers to read, critique, and edit and such, which I think will be fun. And my whole goal as a writer, Jiggly, just cover your ears for this. I'm gonna give you 3 seconds to cover your ears, and then I'll do this when I'm done saying what I'm gonna say. Okay, buddy? Just trust me on this one. Okay, ready? Cover your ears. So my can't speak English. Yeah, I can't speak any fucking English. My whole goal as a writer is to sell the fuck out. Because I want to go live in a mansion somewhere. Not even a mansion, probably, but I want to have enough money that I never have to work ever again if I don't want to. So my goal is like, what can I write that I enjoy? I do have to enjoy it, and then just like fucking sell out. And then if I need to get like some artistic credibility, I can do that like fucking later. But right now, I want to sell out. Okay, Jiggly, it's safe. It's safe. Okay. Lamp Wizard, thank you for your comments. I can't wait to have you in Austin. What I said in general chat. Oh, I said in general chat, not ours. But what I said, I think holds true. I think you're coming to Austin. I think you are, because I don't know that other teams are really sold on the offensive lineman thing yet, and we are, and I think we're going to try to get you in there as best we can, and I think that's an option. Thank you. Swag Sloth, my dude. Assuming this is done today, predictions for the Ultimates. It will exist. Baltimore will put up a better fight than San Jose in season 15 when they lost 49-0 to Baltimore in a season that they had already lost to Baltimore twice by a combined score of 69-26. And if you're like, holy shit, he just pulled that off the top of his head. No, if you go into the Copperheads chat, I'm actually an excellent public speaker, by the way. Isn't that great? We utilize our Mi 6 and some of our unique commands so that we can get messages for things. We do a lot of fun stuff with that. It's one of those things I've been working on. And it's something I learned so I can put it down for Sabercats. In fact, I'm going to hit the public snake house right now for those of you watching it, and I'm going to type in Sabercats. Underachieving since before it was cool. Alright, let's try Otters. Just doing a little advertisement here. The 60s Celtics, basically. That's true. Hawks. Dread it. Run from it. The inevitable still arrives. The Hawks make the Ultimates. Just a taste of what we're doing. Just a taste. I'm glad the other 1% knows it didn't come up, actually. Everybody in my locker room's like, I know which one he means. Anyway, yeah, that's something we're doing. And yeah, OCO's winning. I'm pretty sure OCO's winning. We'll see though. You never know. Thank you, buddy. You know I got you. Upper net. What are your? He's like, where's my comment, man? What's your expectations for the Copperheads next season? I've been pretty clear about this one. Playoffs. That's my expectation. We are so stacked almost across the board, and we just like grow, rise for 2 seasons, and we are fucking ready to take that next step. Yeah, we're going to playoffs. I mean, there's an argument we could have made the playoffs this season, but then stuff happened. Playoffs. Thank you for your question. Nice updates, by the way. Nice job. I know you weren't part of that big conversation last night. You were probably like sleeping like a normal person. But it's a man who's really stepping his way up in the world. So keep it up. It felt weirdly sexual when I wink and do. You can say almost anything, especially if you slow it down and like almost like you drop your volume. You're like, you felt vaguely weird when I did that, right? I felt weird. Nope. Oh, Joe's responding. Technically, he only did 4 hops. Actually, I don't want to misquote him. Thank you, Upper Net. Hopefully, if all goes well, you might be part of that team. We'll see what happens. Lowly Crib, Mr. Breckenridge himself. What rookie in the NSFL do you feel did the best this season? Ashley Owens, 1,200 yards and 9 touchdowns from scrimmage plus returns. Obviously, I'm completely unbiased to this statement. And I mean, it's unfair to just say which rookie because you have the offensive side of the ball, you have the defensive side of the ball. It's different standings. So that's a great offensive player. Defensively, you gotta look far and wide for someone, and you look at all the various performances, and you find this guy named Honda Edmonds. I forget which team he plays for, but just man had it. He had tackles. He was disrupting plays. He was a great player. So I think those would be the 2. Biggest draft steal from last draft. First round talent in the second round, Takeda Okura. Excellent safety. Came in and replaced a multi-year starter right away and outdid them. Did great. Even though for the first 3 games, his speed was wrong. It said 84 instead of the 89 that it should have been before the season started. And it was the one thing that his team didn't get fixed after their disastrous week 1 game was still that person who was still a mistake for the rest of the week. You know, just missing 50 random TPE in speed, the most important stat in the sim. 3 games. I think he did a great job, and I think he's a huge steal long term for whichever lucky team drafted him. Squares or triangles? Heads. Sandwiches, squares. Pizza, triangles. Yeah. Militarily, different. I don't know. Squares, triangles. Ovals, motherfucker. Thank you for the questions. Salad donut man. What were your thoughts when AZ and YKW lost? YWK? I mentally corrected it without thinking about it. I was a little surprised when AZ lost, to be honest. I thought they were coming back, especially after we worked so hard in Week 13 to beat YKW on the road and secure them home field advantage throughout the playoffs. And then, they ran into the Otters. We know how that goes. YWK slash YKW's loss. Well, that means they've lost 2 games in a row at home. Once to us, and then once to Baltimore. So, I feel that they lost. I feel that they have lived up to the potential they had. And that they have learned the potential they thought they had. Sabercats of the NSFC. What do you make of the RLJ situation? I don't know what the fuck it is. I'm guessing there's some sort of... Oh, Ryan Leaf Jr. Reading the next question actually helps there. Ryan Leaf Jr. situation. I think that if you put Ryan Leaf Jr. on your team, what happens next is a thing that's on you. It's not a surprise. It's not a secret. You pretty much know what's coming. Ditto for the next question. What do you make of the Young TB situation? Young TB is many things. Pretending to be something he's not is one of those. If you bring him in, you know what you're getting. So when things like these things happen, you can't just be like, oh my god, I never knew it was coming. It is what it is. There are certain personality types within the league that are going to be like that, and you take the risks you take, and you accept the consequences that happen. It's not like he's suddenly farting on doctors' backs and throwing furniture out of windows, where you can be like, okay, we didn't reasonably expect this level of insanity. You kind of get what you expect. That's what I think about that. I also must comment again on your fabulous head. Thank you. Appreciate you. And the questions. Vert Laser. That's how I've been saying it in my head, so I assume VRTX L4S3R. And he's one of the prospects we're looking at, by the way. Funny story, right near my apartment the other day. I was walking by this Pizza Hut that's over there. Because that's how you properly handle Pizza Hut. You just fucking walk by. And the license plate said VRTX on it, and I was like, you don't live here, right? Just to be sure. But it was funny. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? There's actually an answer to that. He chucks as much wood as a woodchuck could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood. That's the real answer, by the way. Who do you feel has had the best late surge in improving their draft stock? Either than Hall Monitor with his position switch. I think you meant other, and your phone probably said fuck you. That's going to be my guess. Oh, you've said you're on your phone and you don't do computer. So yeah, there we go. So other than Hall Monitor and his position switch and his article that spelled out Colorado, even though Colorado has the 4th pick, I think a lot of a lot of people have had a late position surge. sadly for me, a lot of them have been in positions where it's not really going to help me all that much. You have somebody like Park Matako, the running back. I War Angel, who's really stepped up, kind of went from like no one knows you to boom. You got people like Tyrone Biggums, the wide receiver, Revolution 5's player, who like has established themselves as one of the leading players in the draft. Period. Um, you have I'm gonna fuck this up. Matthias Henyati, as Rampage's player, again another running back. I think the story of this class was more defensive than offensive at the beginning, and as the class has gone on and as we've hit this endpoint, there have been 4 or 5 offensive players, like some of those mentioned and a couple other ones, who just went from sort of also rans to, no, you have to pay attention to us now. You have to think about us now, because if you don't draft us higher than you wanted to initially, someone else is going to, and you're going to miss out. And I think that creates an interesting dynamic, because now you're in a position where, yeah, there are a lot of great defensive players in this draft, but also there are a lot of great defensive players in this draft. So GMs are kind of hitting that point now where they were like, I'm going to do this. And now they're really looking at it, the competent ones. And they're seeing, I don't have to do this. I can do this here. And yeah, it won't be this person, but this person's also great. But on the other hand, there's only so many of these people. So I got to do this here, even though I'm not sure what the other 9 teams are doing, 8 teams are doing. What we're doing is pretty obvious for day one. Not day one, but if day one is today, then we were obvious on day one. Everybody knows where we're going. Everybody knows what we're doing. I haven't made a secret of what I'm doing. What's up? So yeah, I think as opposed to just one particular player, a lot of offensive players that really just like come up. Bender Rodriguez, that was the other. Bender B. Rodriguez. I don't know what the B stands for, because that was, can't possibly be bending. Can't possibly be. Can't be. So it's going to be interesting to see how those offensive players go, because we were at a point where 2-3 weeks ago, a generally held opinion was going to be there might not be any offensive players in the first round. And now we're at a point where you could see 3 or 4, because teams are going to have to hit on players rather than risk them going somewhere else by the time you come back. And the offensive players, or the high-level offensive players, being the exception rather than the rule, is kind of a new thing. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And I will see what happens well before any of you do. So there. Yes. Which which DSFL team do you feel was the best talent-wise this season? From my scouting, I want to say the Marshals. Yeah, the Marshals are stacked across the board. They have one of the most consistently updating teams throughout the season. Sometimes sim luck doesn't go your way. I think that happens to them, but there's your answer. Thank you, sir. Appreciate the questions. Appreciate you more in the locker room here soon. But let's move on to my dude, Moody. Moody. How many offensive players will go in the first round of the draft? Come on, man. Every fucking time. 3 to 4. That's my theory. What are the most likely trade up, down teams this draft? I think New Orleans is the most likely team to trade down, because they're going to get teams coming at them with offers. I think the second most likely team to trade down is Philadelphia, because they're going to get teams coming at them with offers, especially if New Orleans doesn't. New Orleans just says, fuck value, or none of these offers are good enough, and it just picks Bjorn Ironside. There's still several players at 2 who can be absolute game changers, who teams will consider to be roughly on par with Ironside, or they will tell themselves they're roughly on par with Ironside, which is effectively the same thing. In terms of moving up, I don't know. I know that Colorado's GMs have very much said they don't plan to move up. Not Colorado. Chicago's plans. Chicago's GMs have very much said they don't plan to move up. I don't plan to move up. Not really. Joe doesn't like it when we trade draft picks. Orange County already moved up in their eyes, so I don't see why they would have a reason to. They might move down, make a trade, and get some more value out of it. Other than that, though, it's a crapshoot. It's hard to tell. You never quite know how this shit's gonna work out until it does. And then even when it's happening, a lot of times it's like, I didn't expect this. I didn't know this was gonna happen. Oh my god. Why is everything on fire? You know, whatever. GM chat. You gotta live it to understand it. Moody, my dude. My poor house running back. One of my poor players. It makes sense to us, goddammit, okay? It doesn't make sense to you, but it makes sense to us. One day when you're a copperhead, you'll understand, okay? Shout out to my poor players. I love you. I got you. Moody, thank you for the questions. What the fuck was I just gonna say? Thank you for the questions. I'm gonna have a drink of tea. Thunderbug. There's still something in my throat. Are hot dog sandwiches? I used to start a lot of draft scouting with this question. Okay, so here's my take on the question. Because I'm glad someone's finally asking me. Here's what it is. No. Until you put 2 real ingredients on there. Not condiments. So, like, mustard and ketchup doesn't count. Mayonnaise, you're an asshole. Put on hot dogs anyway. But you need the bun, and you need the meat, and you need 2 additional ingredients for it to be a sandwich, in my opinion. I think that's the best compromise. So if you have, like, cheese and onions, bam, that shit's a sandwich. If you have just cheese, not a sandwich. If you have mustard and cheese, not a sandwich. Mustard, not an ingredient. But, you know, like pickles and peppers, fuck yeah. You're halfway to a Chicago dog, but fuck yeah, that's a sandwich. There you go. That's my theory. Feel free to at me on that shit. I don't care. Thunderbug, thank you. Thank you. Let's move on to Dylan Deluxe. Would you shave your beard? No. If it meant winning the Ultimate Mini next season, I'm not in the DSFL. Was that wordplay trickery, sir? Who would you consider the Sully to your Mike Wazowski? How did I get tabbed as Mike? Okay, never mind. I thought about it for 5 seconds. So I need a big, lumbering, good-natured. I don't know. I don't know that I have one. Maybe I'm kind of both. Mike and Sully together in one sexually confusing package. If you had to choose one in this league, would you rather have the #1 offense or the #1 defense? #1 offense. Offense is... I probably made a weird noise. Yeah, offense. Because #1 defense is good, but you still gotta score points. Probably offense. Maybe defense. Maybe defense. I don't know. Both. Is that outside the box GM thinking I like to employ? I would rather have both. Both of them have their strong suits. So, there you go. Thank you, Thud. statements we make sometimes. White cornerback. Explain in depth every franchise's worst mistake in their history. Yeah, you did tell me you were going to do this. Well, I don't have a pause button on this recording. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to go pee. I'm going to be right back. Graders, feel free not to judge this minute or so. Daisy, I'm going to pee. Okay, it looked like me. That was weird. Biggest mistake of every team in the league. I assume this is hindsight based. So, Colorado, everything. There's too many to choose from for Colorado, guys. It's unfair to pick one particular one and say that's the one. It is what it is. Yellowknife. Still being in Yellowknife. It's just highly unrealistic. If you really want to push on roster moves, they used it first and sold out on a running back that retired after 3 seasons. That was fresh, and it stings, I'm sure, but it is what it is. Baltimore. Baltimore doesn't make a ton of mistakes. I can't think of any really huge ones off the top of my head. No, got nothing for Baltimore. I'm sure there's something that somebody could be like, they did this, and it minorly fucked them up for a season or something. Philly's biggest mistake was Clifford Rowe at quarterback. It just wasn't up to snuff even then. He'd get eaten alive now, let alone then. He was an early season QB where you didn't have to have the most CPE. You didn't have to have the best quarterback necessarily, as long as they were in the right system. My boss, they could do fairly well and outplay their actual skill level. Yellowknife, Colorado. Again, Colorado, the answer's just yes. Baltimore, Philly, Chicago. Chicago's been around for 3 seasons, 2 seasons on the field. They have a very small amount of decisions to work with, so it really feels way too easily done to just like go right to the they went for the hard, let's compete now and hope it works out later plan. Especially since, let's call it what it is, at the time all those decisions were being made, the first couple of drafts, most of the league writers, most of the media, most of the opinion was that they were doing the right things by competing immediately. Y'all liked that shit. So, can't really fault it now. Yeah, you're stuck with that opinion forever and ever and ever. And I understood what they were going for, so sometimes things don't work out. Can't hate on them for that. Arizona, everybody knows, 2 first-round picks and a future head office member who later became inactive for a linebacker, really for 2 linebackers who quickly became inactive. Everybody knows that one. That was me. Yep. All right. NOLA. Actually, you have to go back to their Las Vegas Legion days. The management, original early Las Vegas management that led to a bunch of players retiring. It eventually worked out for the team in the end, but it was probably the biggest mistake. San Jose, in the same exact draft with the Arizona linebacker, 2 first rounds inactive, blah blah blah. San Jose had the 3rd pick, and they traded with the team that had the 2nd pick for a D-line player who went inactive. And the trade was they gave up the 3rd pick for the 2nd pick, and they also gave up their 1st round pick the following season for a player who was inactive for 4 seasons. That's their biggest mistake, and the only reason it doesn't get talked about more is because of the other trade that happened. OCO. To be honest, they a lot like Baltimore. There's a reason these guys keep popping up in the Ultimates. They don't make a ton of mistakes. I can't really think on any huge ones. Someone will. I just can't think on any huge ones. That's Arizona NOLA, even though I used Las Vegas, it's the same franchise. San Jose, Orange County, us. We've had a couple of draft picks bust. I think that's been ours thus far. We really thought Nick Snyder, aka 8th round pick, was going to do something. We really thought Troy Hamada, Sir Earl was going to do some stuff, but it just didn't happen. Yeah, we missed. Sometimes you just miss. That's what it is. I know people are going, well, what about the trade you made where you overpaid for Honda Edmund and blah, 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 but time will tell. I think time will be kind to that decision. We'll see. And there you go. That's an in detail, etc., etc. Give new, wacky, off-the-walls ideas for recruitment promotion of the league. What if we had our own active Reddit? That doesn't make sense to you, just ignore it. It's fine. I don't know, man. Off the top of my head right now, I don't know. Just keep having people come in and having a blast and telling their friends, I think, is going to be more successful than random stupid ideas we come up with. If one of us in the league can just hurry up and fucking get famous. Yeah. Thank you, Dermot. Let me see if I've got any other random questions. Nope, here we go. I do. Eco, what do I need to change with our Twitter system to bring you back? Oh yeah, I did comment that on the last video, didn't I? I feel it's very restrictive. In the last time I looked up what the system is, let me double check and make sure that I'm giving an accurate representation of the system and not just blowing up at the mouth. I'm also blowing up at the mouth. But Twitter rules. Effective date May something. You get 200k per tweet for the first 3, which is 600k, and 50k for each tweet after that. Maximum 1 tweet, retweet, or reply per day is eligible for this payout. I don't like that I need to put my main tweets on 3 days, 3 separate days, because that's not always going to be a thing I can really do. I get it once you add that, like, every additional tweet is 50k. So what is that? 4 tweets you can do most. So you're looking at 600 plus 450, which is 800 most. I think last time I looked at it, there was like a hashtag you had to do. You had to. Now it's a different thing with hashtag. I think you had to do an SFL tweet or something. There was some random hashtag I remember you had to do, and it was had to do it on different days, even just for the 3. I wasn't a fan of adding retweets. I wanted original content when I was doing it. And, I don't know. To be honest, it seems a little better than I remember it being. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm gonna come back. We'll see. In part because when you get into Twitter like this, the way it's set up, and I'm gonna help set it up, so I know that. I know what it is. I get it. It's immersive. A lot of different things. You can't just run in there and be like, okay, sorry, some people can. I can't just run in there and be like, here's 3 random tweets. I don't give a shit about anything else going on, because they stick out like a sore thumb. It sticks out like bad PR department in a company in real life, where you can see it and be like, you don't know what the fuck's going on. You're not paying attention. You're just randomly eating some shit out there. We all know it when we see it, and I don't want to be that. That, and I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna tweet as. I might come back. System's a little better than I remember it as being. Weekly retweet and like count. The person that receives the most retweets and likes for the weeks will be paid 500k. So the most popular person will also get a bonus that accounts for 62.5% of the maximum amount of payout you can get for just writing tweets. That seems a lot. Person who gets the second most gets 250k. Still, you must retweet or like somebody else's tweet to be eligible for this payout. So actually, that goes back into the immersion thing. You gotta get in there, you know. Winners of a week will not be eligible for payouts the following week. That's a good rule. I like that. We'll see. You know, okay, here's what I will commit to, Echo. I'll give it a shot. That's what I'll commit to. It's been a minute, but I'll give it a shot. I'll see how much I like it in practice, now that some of the rules have definitely changed from the last time I saw them. Because I haven't looked at this in months, to be honest. So, there we go. There we go. And they've actually updated it August 8th is when it was updated. So, I'll give it a shot. There you go. I hope that helps. Yeah. That said, I am no longer getting paid in like 2 minutes. I'm not gonna try to max out anyway. That's not really what I do. I mean, hell, I went pee. But thank you for the questions, everybody. but a variety of topics. I always love doing that. And eventually, as I keep doing these videos, which I'm going to do pretty consistently now, I'm hoping to add things like graphics and other stuff as I sort of learn how to do it. And now I gotta go find the thing that was attached to my necklace because when I went over there and like threw off my shirt for that one little bit. Like the necklace piece was like bye and went into the sink. So now I gotta go find that real quick. So I will talk to all y'all later. Have a good Ultimus tonight. Let's get hyped for off season. I know it can be long and boring, but draft and free agency and all this fun stuff coming up. You see what happens. You see very much what happens, and I will chat with some of y'all at a later time and date. So for myself, for Daisy, who's taking a nap, for my wife's paintings in the background, and most importantly on behalf of the Austin Copperheads, we're going to finish this off with a random thought from our Discord. Random. Perfect. And the random thought we're going to finish this off today is, if a tree falls in the forest and no one is around to hear it, does Jiggly write a sad song about it? Words to look by.